Deck the halls with boughs of holly. Fa la 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 la, la la la.
Be afraid. Be very afraid. Be very afraid.
It's showtime.
Just because Christmas time is a time for joy and celebration doesn't mean there isn't room for some chills or terrors. And as is tradition, we are here to present a rather festive edition of Video Scaries. Grab your warm drink, sit yourselves down in that comfy chair, and prepare for some shocking clips that we have lined up. The first of these is from the UK in the year 2014. The Department for Transport was celebrating 50 years of its Don't Drink and Drive public information films and adverts. In true fashion, they produced a short advertisement that pretty much emphasises everything that they're trying to get across in those 5 decades. If you're uncomfortable with hospitals, or people in a state of serious injury, then I would skip this one entirely. Viewer discretion on this and all clips today is advised. With that said, let's take a look.
Celebration to last throughout the years.
So bring your good times and laughter too.
We're gonna celebrate your party with you. Come on now. Celebration. We gon' celebrate
And have a good time.
celebration.
We're gonna celebrate and have a good time.
A simple idea, but very powerful to watch. Obviously when you see the scene of a car wreck, but hear the cheerful sound of Celebration by Kool and the Gang, you instantly can sense the difference, but also feel the power that that difference commands. To see members of our emergency services attempting to rescue people, treat their injuries, attempt to revive them to life, whilst they sing this normally very happy song is quite unnerving, to say the least. At the end we see the text display the fact that in 50 years the number of deaths due to drink driving has fallen quite drastically, which adds another reason as to why the song Celebration was chosen presumably. But the last scene is the most hard-hitting for me. Seeing this officer inform a woman of the death of her loved one, the music cutting out and her beginning to suffer from the news, is heartbreaking. The final line of text perfectly stating that the new low amount of deaths per year from drink driving is still far too much. This one I would argue isn't scary for any kind of graphic content, but it's more disturbing for the contrast in visuals and music, and the sheer horror of seeing people lose their lives whilst one of the happiest songs ever is sung in the background. Moving on now to our next clip, we move from drink driving to a more sinister topic. Viewer discretion again is advised. Coming from France, this is Joyeux Noël.
Reindeer silently they make way. Children's dreams wait until the true next day. It's a every age all know that dreams come but one more night.
Bet you weren't expecting that bombshell to drop. For the majority of this film, we are led to assume that the young boy who is the focus has some sort of deep-rooted issue. We're made to ask why he is destructive, why he wants to be alone, and why he is so frustrated around Christmas time. The build-up is quite suspenseful, as you know they're building to something, without quite knowing what until the text appears. Translated, it claims that not every child is looking forward to Christmas. Followed up with the statistic that in France, 75% of child abuse is committed by family members. That is horrifying. With Christmas typically being a time of joy and a family coming together to celebrate, the thought of that time being tainted with children being abused by family members is terrifying and sadly very real, not just in France, but the world over. Child abuse is a very serious topic, not one to be made light of, and this film strikes the balance of grabbing the audience's attention and shocking them to their core with the final revelation. Hopefully, since this first aired in 2015, efforts have been made to reduce child abuse cases in France, and hopefully, it's the same case around the world too. Let's move on now to our third clip of the day, one that comes from Australia and is titled 12 Days of Christmas.
Your husband has had a very serious head injury. You'll have to take him to our intensive care ward.
It might take a few days, but they come out of it.
He'll be home. He'll be home.
The tests that we've done really confirm beyond doubt that Alan's brain has now stopped working, and I can only tell you that we need to take him off the machine.
Oh, no. We'll see you later, son.
Take him away from it. Oh, God, it's not fair. We're going to the church, darling. Daddy won't be there. No, Daddy won't be there. Mommy, wake up. Give me a kiss. Careful, baby. Can I open nothing? Yeah, hang on a minute, sweetheart. I'm just trying to get this. Mummy, is Santa going to find Daddy?
The Australians know how to smash the heartstrings, don't they? Honestly though, this film is both powerful and very upsetting. It's back on the focus of drink driving, but instead of contrasting terrible visuals with a happy song like our first clip, this one goes the full hog to reinforce the point that drinking and then driving is never a good idea. Especially warning of how often this can happen around Christmas time. Again, leaning into Christmas being a time for celebration and merriment, naturally more alcohol is consumed by adults. The actual crash we see isn't the most horrific aspect. For me, it's more about the aftermath. Seeing how quickly this man can go from being perfectly healthy to having his brain stop functioning and then die in hospital, the aftermath is shocking because it shows how much it can destroy a family. A father not being home at Christmas, having to explain to young children exactly what has happened at what is supposed to be the happiest time of the year. The final tagline may sound like a typical Aussie phrase, but it's absolutely right in what it says. So after this clip broke your heart, don't be a bloody idiot. And if you're having a few pints this Christmas, for God's sake, don't get in your car and drive afterwards. But now, we shall move to our final clip of the day. Bringing it back to the UK, this is 12 Days.
On the 12th day of Christmas, a drink driver gave to me 12 months in traction, 11 weeks on crutches, 10 operations, 9 years of nightmares, 8 to confession. lungs and a lifetime in a wheelchair.
What a way to finish off, eh? We've seen these takes on the 12 Days song with different, more harrowing lyrics on video Scaries before, but this one I would argue is truly horrifying. Not the least because a lot of the atrocities we're hearing about have fallen onto children. Children who are just starting their lives, only to have to undergo such pain and such hardship at the hands of some idiot who had too much to drink. You may wonder why there are so many anti-drink driving ads around Christmas, but like I said, more people drink around that time of year, so increased awareness like this is necessary. This one has some graphic elements, but I think its power and its impact lies in the fact that the sufferers in this particular film are children. We're naturally more sympathetic to them, as we aim to look after them, and I can imagine for parents watching, if their child were in this position, some could feel regretful, feeling like they let their child down, even if the injuries they suffered weren't their fault directly. The sad truth of the matter is, injuries and deaths at Christmas, whether they be from drink driving, abuse, or anything of that nature, still happen around the world today. And I want to take this moment to pay tribute to our NHS staff and care workers up and down the country, for not only going the extra mile to look after us all at Christmas time, but also for the increased strain of this year in particular, in fighting the COVID-19 virus. Let's endeavour to show them even more appreciation and cooperation in the years to come. So that does bring us about to the end. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Video Scaries, and if you wish to see more, please leave a like and subscribe to us here at AMTV. I've been your host, Martyn, and we hope to see you next time.